All right, I figured I'd give you a quick progress report on Grandpa's crawler. I have not been working on it because I've been busy with combine stuff. But Dad's been messing with it in his spare time because I think he really wants to get this thing going before the end of fall. I didn't want to get things to get too far ahead and you guys miss a whole bunch. So obviously not going to be working on anything. I apologize, and I have to say I'm sorry for that. This isn't going to be a working on anything video because I'll get people that'll bitch at me about it. So anyhow, got one of the fenders off. It is out getting drawn up in CAD to get new plates burned out so we can weld up new fenders. Same thing, fuel tanks sent out to get drawn up in CAD to get burn patterns made to make a new fuel tank for it because we got the fuel tank off and it was beyond savable. Anything's savable, but you'd have had to cut that one apart, sandblast it, line it, weld a new bung in it because the bung for the fuel cap was rusted. You ended up building the new tank out of the old tank, so it was just easier to build a new tank. Fuel pumps here. I think he already did the spark plugs. Spark plugs and cap and rotor and points and stuff. Yeah, that's all new. I think he's getting plug wires for it. He's currently in the process of rebuilding the valve. He's already had it off once to take it apart. He's got to pull it back off, but Sunday he put all this back together because he got the hydraulic line straightened out because they were all bent up, and he made new clamps for them. So I don't know if he's planning on, we kind of talked about plumbing up because the second valve spool was in it. We just needed the second lever in the dash. We kind of discussed plumbing it up for remotes out the back in case for the time being. I think ultimately Dad wants to find an eagle or either an eagle hitch or a 3-point for it. They were both options. You can get either one, but for now, get some remotes plumbed back there so that it's that much handier. Cylinders are going to have to be rebuilt. Obviously, he's been on the lookout for a new, I don't know if you want to call it a nose cone. It's not really a nose cone, but the headlight bucket here. Because there's pieces missing to hold the headlights in. So he's been looking for a new one of those. He almost had one and then he missed the auction. So there's that. Starter and generator are rebuilt there. We're gonna have to do some work on the battery box floor. What else? He's got seat covers coming for it. You could buy a seat cover kit with the seat, the backrest, and the armrest. Those are coming. Eventually, we're going to have to tear the rear end out of it and pull it all the way down because this bearing in the front, we can't get it back into proper clearance according to the book. Dad pulled all the shims out of it. This actually happened a few weeks ago. Pulled the shims out of it and tried to tighten it up, and he still can't, with all the shim pack gone, he still can't get it to the correct preload according to the way the manual wants you to do it. So that bearing is probably going to need replaced at some point, and in order to do that bearing, according to the book, everything's actually got to go out the back. So you have to disassemble the entire transmission to do it. So if you're in there, you might as well do the whole transmission. So that's going to have to be done eventually, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to be a right now project. It'll be when we tear the whole thing down eventually. What else? He's got the carb kit coming for it. He's got a fan belt coming for it. I think that's got y'all brought up to speed. He's only worked on it like the last 2 weekends. That's all he's had time for. And like I say, I've been working on combines and other stuff, so I haven't had time to mess with it. It's not really a good time of year for me with everything else that I've got going on that requires being done before the proverbial shit hits the fan. We still need to pop the clutch cover off the bottom and check to make sure the clutch isn't stuck. We believe it is, just in the moving it around and trying to pop the... We tried pulling it with the clutch disengaged and it was still rolling motor over, so chances are clutch is stuck. So we got to investigate that. There is found out there is no aftermarket wiring harness available for it. You can get them for the wheel tractors. Nobody makes them for the crawlers. No, the wheel tractors and the crawlers are not the same, because the wheel tractors use that one piece gauge cluster, instrument cluster deal that they used, that Case used. This does not. The harnesses do not interchange. They might be close, but as simple as this harness is, because the vast majority of the rat's nest is right here, and then it gets easy once it's just easier to buy. Brillman makes or has all the vintage connectors and vintage jacketed wire and vintage wire loom and everything. You could buy everything you need through Brillman to make it look like a factory harness again. So that's probably the route we're going to go down. I think that's got it. I think that gets you up to speed on what's going on with it. Like I say, I just wanted to touch base with everybody and let you know where it was at, 'cause I didn't want things to get too far ahead and then have to play catch up. So once I get done, honestly, it's probably going to be at least a couple more weeks before I would have any time to wrench on it, 'cause when I get done in combines, we're moving into hay, and by the time we get done with hay, it's probably not going to be a whole lot of time left before we start cutting beans, especially if it stays dry like it has been. So scary of a thought as it is, harvest is only about 3.5 probably weeks away. Maybe a little later because things got planted late, but probably not too far off from that. So anyhow, I guess that should get everybody up to speed on where this little guy is at. Like I say, hopefully I'm not going to get anybody's hopes up, because like I say, Dad's the only one that's had time to work on it, and is probably the only one that's going to have time to work on it for the time being. But I still think he would really like to get it going before snow flies anyhow. So hopefully mid to late fall we'll see it clanking out of here under its own power. Fingers crossed. So that's your update on Grandpa's crawler. And I guess with that being said, sorry it wasn't a wrenching video, but I only have so much time to split between everything that needs done, so you'll have that. So that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.